Hi, this is Mrs. Holmer, and today we're going to look at active and passive transport. First, let me remind you that the cell membrane is going to control what comes in and out of the cell, and it is made up of a phospholipid bilayer and has things like proteins, which are the green blobs, and some other things like cholesterol and carbohydrates embedded in it. And also, you do have to remember that when we talk about cell transport, it's really important to know what concentration is. And concentration is just the amount of solute or the dots that are dissolved within a concentration or within a solution. So knowing those two things, active and passive transport is kind of like sled riding. When you go down the hill, it's fun, easy, and it requires no energy. But when you go up the hill, you're complaining because it's not so fun. It requires a lot of energy. So passive transport is like going down the hill. You're going from high concentration. So we're going from up high to down low. So it requires absolutely no energy. We call that going down the gradient. Versus active transport is going from low to high. And that does require energy. It's going up the gradient. So if we look at a solution or a comparison of solutions, in passive transport, we're going from high to low. In active transport, we're going from low to high. This is where we require energy. That is the major difference. So let's take a look at the different types of passive transport. First type of passive transport is diffusion. Diffusion is when things naturally spread out. When you spray perfume, it doesn't just stay in the spot you sprayed it. It's going to spread out throughout the hallway, throughout the room, cover everything. In the cell, diffusion happens when things go from high concentration to low concentration, but they're traveling straight through the membrane. You can see here the particles going right through the cell membrane. These are going to be small, uncharged particles, such as oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is great for when you're breathing because oxygen and carbon dioxide are going to be exchanged through diffusion in your lungs and in your blood cells. The second type of passive transport is facilitated diffusion. When particles are too large to fit through the cell membrane itself, they just get some help from a protein. So facilitated diffusion is exactly the same, going from high to low, but now we're going through a protein. So glucose would be an example of a molecule that would have to move through facilitated diffusion. So the difference is really simple. We're going from high to low both times, but facilitated diffusion is just simply through a protein. The last type of passive transport is osmosis. In this case, water is moving. That is the only difference. Water is going from high to low water. But sometimes that confuses kids. So I'd like you to think about osmosis as water goes to where there is more solute or a higher concentration. Why does it go to where there's more solute? Well, simply because there's less water there, and it wants to go where water is low. So we're moving from high to low water concentration. So the three types of passive transport: diffusion, the movement of solute from high to low, straight through the membrane; facilitated diffusion, using a protein; and osmosis, when water moves. So active transport, on the other hand, is when we use energy. And there's only a couple examples of active transport. The first and most important being the protein pump. The protein pump is going to move materials from low concentration to high concentration, but it's going to need to use energy. That's active transport. We've seen this in the sodium-potassium pump, as well as in the electron transport chain in photosynthesis and cellular respiration, where hydrogen ions are being pumped in using the energy from electrons. So again, active transport, we're going from low to high using energy. There's also another type of active transport called endocytosis and exocytosis, where a vesicle is used in the cell membrane to bring things in, endocytosis, or a vesicle is used to fuse with the membrane and is called exocytosis. Those also require energy to move in and out larger amounts of molecules, food, and water. So, one last time, active transport requires energy, passive transport does not. Good luck on your air test.